Hi, how are you? I'm Germán Terríquez. I'm the owner of the legal firm Justicia Transparente Criminal Lawyers. We are criminal lawyers in Mexico. We have offices in Tijuana, Mexicali, and we have partners in the whole Mexico. So, in this video, we are going to talk about an important matter, an important situation that happened with the US citizens here in Mexico, and is the crime or the offense to carry a weapon with the exclusive use for the Mexican army, right? So it's regular that the people, the US citizens, has a weapon in the car. So in some cases, when you got or you carry the weapon with you, maybe you go to Mexico and you pass with the customs, for example, the border for San Isidro and Tijuana, and in this moment, the customs check you and find a weapon with you. So in this moment, the customs question you, where's the why do you have a weapon with you, and you say, I'm a permit, I'm a legal permit, but in this moment it's important that you know that the US permit that you have for carrying your weapon is not legal in Mexico. So in most of the cases, the US citizens is translated to the prosecution offices, for example, in Tijuana. So with the FGR, that is the prosecution offices, and you begin to investigate, right? So the prosecutor starts an investigation. So it's a regular and it's a very frequently matter that it happens in Mexico. So I want to give you some advice about that. First of all, in this time, I want that you know that your legal permit, your permit to carry weapons in US, it doesn't work in Mexico. If you want to carry a weapon in Mexico, you need the permit for the Mexican authority. That is the Mexican Army authority. You need that permit. If you don't have that permit and you pass the border from San Isidro to Tijuana with a weapon and you don't have the Mexican permit, you make a crime. You are committing a crime. The crime for carry a weapon for the exclusive use for the Mexican army. And well, that kind of crimes for US citizens are very complicated, and maybe you can lose your freedom for these situations. First of all, in the Mexican criminal procedure, when the people or when the person arrested doesn't live in the city when is arrested, for example, Tijuana, the Mexican law established that in some cases you are going to be in jail because you don't have house or you don't have a address in the city when you are being processed, right? So it's for that that first of all is some important that you review your car and you be sure that you don't have your weapon with you, and it's important that you don't cross the border with the weapon for Mexico, because in Mexico you can have problems. You can have problems for that, for that, for that crime, for that offense, right? So in Mexico there are a lot of crimes related with carry weapons with you, if you carry weapons, for example, a semi-automatic pistol for caliber not higher than .380 or 9 millimeters, it's a crime in Mexico. So you need to have license for all the weapons and all the pistols that you have. So if you carry with you a pistol not higher than .9 millimeters, you committed a crime or an offense in Mexico, and you can have penalties for 3 to 8 years for jail. So this is a high penalty for that offense. So it's important that you review your car, because if you are investigating for that crime, you need to declare guilty to get your release as soon as possible, because if you don't declare guilty, you have the right to go to the oral trial. But the criminal process, it lasts in the most of the cases maybe 6 months to get the right to go to the oral trial, because first of all, the prosecutor has the right for the process to investigate, first of all, the crime, and the time to go to the oral trial and declare guilty or not guilty. Maybe it's gonna be 6 months, something like this, 6 months till you are arrested. So it's complicated. Stay 6 months in jail for a mistake, for not for don't have the information that carry a weapon without a license. It's a crime in Mexico. So please avoid that, right? So there's another crimes or offense in Mexico to carry a weapon that it's important that you know. For example, we're going to talk about the crime to carry weapons for the exclusive use for the Mexican Army. So in this type of crimes, there are an offense. There's an offense for the Mexican government that implies that you are staying in jail if you commit that offense. So please avoid that. And which are the pistols or the weapons for the exclusive use for the Mexican Army? So let me explain like that. We are going to say the most common weapons for the exclusive use for the Mexican Army. For example, that .357 Magnum caliber, right? And larger than .38 special weapon, 9 millimeters caliber pistols, and higher calibers, right? These are the most frequently weapons for the exclusive use for the Mexican Army. And if you carry with you in Mexico with these weapons, you can be processed by this crime, and the legal defense for you, it's gonna be complicated, because as I told you before, if you don't live in Mexico and you live in, I don't know, LA or San Diego, the judge it's gonna result that you stay in jail, because if the judge get release you, maybe you don't come for the next hearings that you are going that you need to come. So right, so it's for that the judge is gonna resolve that you stay in jail because you don't live in Tijuana, for example. So it's important that you know that. And well, if you have weapons, as I told you before, in Mexico, it's an offense and it's a several crime. But if you have cartridges with you or cartridge magazines, it's a crime. It's a crime too in Mexico. And what is cartridge? It's the where the bullets where the bullets of the weapons stays, right? So that information it's important that you know and that you understand, right? Why I'm talking about that? I'm talking about that because in my legal experience, in my job experience, it's very frequently that that kind of matters it happens, right? Tijuana, it's incredible. Maybe every day U.S. citizens is arrested at the border for the customs because they forgot that that person has the weapons in his cars, and the people is arrested, translated to the prosecutor offices, and maybe if you don't have the right legal defense in the right moment, maybe you can stay in jail for 1 more 2 months or maybe 1 year or 2 years. So it's important that you don't live that nightmare, right? So well, I hope that this information is gonna be helpful for you. And remember, if you have that problem or your family member has a problem like this, you can contact us. We are Justicia Transparente Criminal Lawyers, and in the description we are going to leave our contact information. Right? My name is Germán Enriquez, and thank you for viewing me. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.